I call this meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Morris,
Here.
Mrs. Thompson, Mr. Gray,
Here.
Mr. Bittner,
Here.
Ms. Wong, here, Mr. Elam,
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Here. Approval of the minutes from the regular meeting of council, May 12, 2026. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Mr. Morris had a correction already.
Yeah.
That was,
I did not conduct that meeting. And I am
So
not Mr.
correct.
Morris, but we corrected that.
Yeah.
I make a motion to amend the minutes as stated.
okay, the men who started the meeting, when we're in the meeting, that would be myself, Mr. Morris. Incorrect, Mrs. Morris to Mr. Morris. So a motion is been made by Mr. Morris. Is there a second for the motion? Seconded by Mr. Gray. Roll call on the amendment, please.
Mr. Morris,
Aye.
Mr. Gray,
Aye.
Mr. Bittner,
Aye.
Ms. Wong, Mr. Elam,
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye. Are there any other additions or corrections to the minutes? There is none. Approved. Motion to approve is amended by
Second.
Mr. Morris, seconded by Ms. Wong. Roll call, please.
Mr. Morris,
Aye.
Mr. Gray,
Aye.
Mr. Bittner,
Aye.
Ms. Wong, Mr. Elam,
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye. Correspondence, clerk, do we have any correspondence this evening?
Just the liquor license. Mrs. Chipotle would like to, from our understanding, get a new liquor license. Okay,
Does any member of council have an objection to this? This would be something we would have to have a hearing for with objections. Anything? Okay. Any other legislation or any other correspondence this evening? Anyone wishes to share? Hearing none, we will move on to administrative and department head reports. Mayor and Safety Director, Mr. Eva, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Johnson, members of council, public here this evening. First off, I want to recognize Keller Williams for the outstanding work they did on their Red Day to beautify the landscape at City Hall and McMinn Park. I want to thank them again for the impact they made to our community. Thank you to Ambas Post 109 for organizing another successful Memorial Day parade. Also for the generous donation they made to support our fall festival. We're lucky to have this great organization in our city supporting our veterans. I will forward an email after this council meeting from Lieutenant Messenger for the ordinance committee to review. Changes are suggested for our public records policy and our e-bike ordinance, specifically riding on sidewalks. Our scooter ordinance does not indicate a scooter must yield to the right of way to any vehicle traffic. Many intersections, for example, north or south on Andrews Road, have private drives and streets operators are failing to stop at since there are no traffic control devices. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Administrative Director, Mrs. Valentine, good evening.
Evening. Good news is the Marcos Plaza potholes were filled today. As I'm sure all you know, Republic's yard waste removal was behind last week. They showed up on Saturday to catch up with collection. And this week, some areas will be one day late on their waste pickup due to Memorial Day, and a list of those dates can be found on the website. On May 19th, Mr. Parker, Ms. Ice, and myself, along with CEC and Sabrina, did a walkthrough in Southland. We created a punch list with a few items on it, but the drainage portion of the project was mostly complete. And this week, a few lawns will be regraded and they will prep for topsoil placement. And then since we had some issues with utility companies lately, I wanted to take a moment to offer some guidance on how we can best handle resident complaints involving utility companies, so we can be as effective and responsive as possible. In situations involving private utilities like electric, gas, or waste providers, the most effective first step is for the homeowner to contact the company directly and file a complaint. Those providers are accountable to their customer, and without that initial contact, there's very limited information they can share or action they can take with the city. There are also important privacy considerations. Without a complaint or authorization from the homeowner, they may not be able to discuss or act on account-specific issues. So once the resident has made that contact, city staff can absolutely step in and follow up, help escalate and advocate on their behalf. That process gives us something to work from and allows us to be much more effective. If we all guide residents in a consistent way, we'll be in a stronger position to resolve their concerns rather than unintentionally delaying them. And lastly, is for the bond ordinance 2026-007. We have a new bond lawyer, so this year, our ordinance is much lengthier than usual. However, it's only a principal pay down this year, and we're not adding to the dollar amount. The 220,000 is the exact amount that was shown in the yearly debt report during the appropriation. The interest is 7%, and please pass the ordinance in 2 readings, these is due to the bank by the 20th. That'll be it.
Okay, thank you. Law Director, Mr. Zeman, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of council, no public works tonight.
Thank you. City Engineer, Mr. Parker, good evening.
Good evening, just a couple of things to go over. One, I think, Franklin took probably the Severino, we did do a semifinal walkthrough. There were some punch list items that they're taking care of. They are getting the topsoil, unfortunately, with the wet weather. No one's screening topsoil. So finding screening topsoil is difficult because it's so wet. So they are trying to get it. Their hope is to have it on site by the end of the week to start the topsoil. From ODNR, we did hear from them. They are very close to getting us some comments back. So we're hoping, this is on the Overlook Beach Park permits. So we're hoping to have those back here shortly, within the next couple of weeks. So we'll address those comments when they come in. Beach drive outfall plans are mostly complete. Again, we're waiting for the short term permits from ODNR. Those comments should be with them. I think they're gonna come together, so that will be good. Concrete paving, Larkspur is complete. They did patch everything on Larkspur. As far as the asphalt paving, Hickory was milled last Thursday. I went out today and actually marked partial depth repairs, and they're gonna actually perform those tomorrow. Then they're gonna pave either Friday or Monday. So there'll be 2 days of paving for the recent fabric this year. So the first day will be the fabric and the intermediate course, and the second day will be the fun course. So that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Questions for the administration? I have a question to start with. For the trash pickup, normally it's everybody's delayed a day. Is that changed now that it's only a certain group of streets that are?
Yeah.
Okay,
Emailed a couple maps.
okay, so that's a change from what we've had in the past. That's why, okay.
I mean, I
I don't think residents are gonna be aware of that already, so.
Facebook and I posted it on the website, so I don't,
So I'm thinking a lot of people aren't gonna have their trash out on the right day then if there's a change, but
I'm hoping.
yeah, because that is a big change for the last. At least 10 years or more that we've been doing this, so. Yes, Mr. Bittner.
Can we request Republic to make a call? They call me all the time,
Yeah,
say
right,
trash
Good
is
question.
not coming, maybe.
They do it from these, but have to sign up for their notifications to the website. So I personally get emails from them because I sign up through their website.
Thank you, I appreciate the, sort of the algorithm to go through for contacting utility companies and when to contact the city, except that many times I get calls from residents because they can't get a response from the utility. And then I don't know how they can get a case number or get anything started that the city should follow up on. Oftentimes we'll go through our own rep, and she's been pretty responsive in working the back end and finding out for her utility anyway, why there has been no response, but I'm not sure what else to tell them, to keep calling, emailing, they can't get through.
You can turn them over to me. We had a gas line situation. I don't have a contact at Enbridge, but I know Ohio, I know First Energy. Enbridge is still, and Bob and I, same way. I don't know anybody at Enbridge that I can get a hold of and say, hey, look, we need this taken care of. The other two, I can help.
other questions for administration? Just Morris.
I'm sure you folks are aware of Mr. Parker and Mary Eva, as well as you, Mrs. Valentine. People in Southland are still quite agitated. And specifically Jennifer Jakosh contacted me after talking to Mr. Gray. And her concern is multifold. After you just made the comment, Mayor, about you don't have a contact at Enbridge, I understand that. However, her big concern is all the damage done to her property. And nobody seems to be willing to step up and say, okay, we're gonna make sure this is taken care of. I have a lengthy email, which I don't want to totally read out the whole thing because it'll delay this meeting even more. However, her problem is she should be made whole, as if that project never happened. And all she's getting is runaround, she said. So that needs to be addressed. And quite honestly, Mrs. Valentine, her comment about you was not very polite, and I won't go into that. Other than to say,
So,
okay, but the problem is you made a comment from what she told me. I'm going from he said, she said thing. That Severino's done with this project and that's it. I don't know if that's true, but that should be it until the properties are corrected.
that is not true. I told her to call the 800 number on the bill, make a complaint. Once the complaint was filed, to send me an email, and then I will then take her complaint and escalate it for her. That is what I told her. Because I keep trying to explain to her that the Southland project has nothing to do with what Enbridge did to her house. It's not connected at all.
Well, in a way it
Enbridge
is.
has to fix it for her.
Yeah.
To her, it is, but
Yes.
in the way you do business, it's not.
Well-
So, so I keep trying to say, call Enbridge and tell them that you have this problem. And then once you do it online, and you can call an 800 number. I've actually had gas issues at my house and they do come same day. So when you call and you make a complaint with them and then it's on file, then I can take that complaint that you told me that you called and told them, tell me what you said to them, tell me what they said. And I can take that information and try and further it in Enbridge. But I'm just trying to help her, but I don't know,
Well-
she doesn't understand that it's like what Southland does, what Severino is doing has nothing to do with what Enbridge did at her house.
Actually, I think it does because Enbridge would have done a dang thing to her property if it wasn't for the Southland project. So when Southland is done, her property damage should be all corrected. I don't care who's responsible for it. We started the project. Don't you think that their property is damaged? She should be made whole again?
Enbridge has to pay for it. That's just.
I will-
go.
I will go back to Mrs. J. Kosh and give that information to her and we'll proceed from there, okay? Thank you.
I talked to Mrs. J. Koch, probably after you did, and explained to her exactly what she needed to do. And I told her to get back to me if she wasn't able to get through to Enbridge. Because everything that she has going over there, to your point, yes, it was part of Southland. But before they could do the storm sewer project, they had to move the gas lines and the electric lines in order to do the storm sewer project, and she understands that.
I understand that too, and I know she understands it. She just wants everything made correct again. They came out, a company called Vallejo, I guess, was doing the gas line stuff for Enbridge. And they told her where the gas line was, and then another company came out in sometime here in May, the beginning of May, and said, oh, no, the gas line's not there. Because they told her it went under her house, and I'm not sure how they could do that, but I'm sure there is a way. And now they're digging up her driveway, she said, to try to find this gas line, and they finally found it, but now there's more damage.
And it sounds like Vallejo was Enbridge's contractor who relocated the gas line. They're the ones responsible for restoring her property.
Okay,
And that's what we had talked to her on Thursday.
I guess the point of Mr. Parker is the city has more clout with contacting these companies, I would think, than a resident does. And I think the resident should not have to do the city's business, but please step up and call these Vallejo or Enbridge, whoever, put some pressure on them and let's get this fixed. That's the only thing I guess that I'm looking for. Because I know if that were my property, I would not be happy either. Apparently they've dug up flower beds multiple times looking for a gas line. It's apparently Vallejo did not put the tracer line down so they can find it.
I didn't need to take her treatment here.
Yeah, that was a result of a water main break, from what she told me. That's all I have on that. I want to keep going.
Well, keep going then.
Okay. The other problem I got is, and this is more for Mr. Seaman. I have a problem with the auction for 2519, the ladder truck out here. The description, which was brought up, I think, at the last council meeting. This 1993 Pierce aerial telescope is a well-maintained, fully functional aerial pumper featuring a 50-foot telescope boom for elevated master stream operations with low miles, strong mechanicals, and a proven Detroit diesel power plant. This unit is ideal for departments seeking an affordable aerial capability, a reserve engine, or dependable apparatus for training or support operations. To me, that description is fraudulent. Either that or why the heck did we get rid of it? You're telling somebody else in an ad that that is a good running truck. If it is, I'd like to know, somebody explain to council why we're putting that up for auction. Or Mr. Seaman.
I have no background information on the auction posting that you just referenced. Generally, and I'm not speaking specifically to this, I don't have any background information, but when things are put up for auction, as a matter of course, we typically sell them as is where it is. And display any type of implied warranties or express warranties for that matter. If something about that advertisement is not accurate, then it's been looked at.
I think it is very inaccurate from what I've heard. I've heard everything from hydraulic systems on the truck being bad. To electrical failures, brake failures. So I'm concerned about if somebody buys that with that description up there, could we be sued for it?
Typically, the bill of sale is as is where it is, and displaying of all warranties. So again, I haven't seen any of that.
Okay, that is right off the municipal website.
Sure.
That's it.
Good. Other questions for the administration?
President,
Yes.
just curious, I was at the parade, Mr. Mayor. And that's passed out several generous checks to different organizations. I'm just curious, how much?
$250.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. They are, very good participants in the city. And they did a good job on the parade. I'm just curious about how much it was. Thank you.
Any other questions for the administration? Hearing none, we will move on to board committee and commission reports. We'll skip zoning because Mrs. Thompson's not here. We'll skip planning and zoning because Mrs. Thompson's not here. We'll move on to Parks and Recreation Board.
You actually skipped that one as I was not in attendance to that.
Okay, we're going to skip that one as well. We will now move on to open the public to speak. If you'd like to speak, please come to the lectern, state your name and address for the record. This is your opportunity to speak to council. It is not a back and forth with council.
Hi, my name is Dave Pelosi. I live on top of the right, option the Jake's Times.
I'm sorry. Dave?
Dave Pelosi. Kind of curious of what's gonna happen, on the Southland project. No one's really kept me informed. I have a couple of basins that are in the corner. You know, Skip was out and looked at them, sometime early in the year. And they're both deteriorating in. The Severinos put the pipe in. They damaged my septic line. They broke them into it. They disconnected my pump line and they came back to the old catch basin where it was originally, but now it's deteriorating from all the trucks. And I just want to know what's going to happen to those catch basins. Can I be tied into the new system? And I'm not happy with the way they did the landscaping. I mean, 8 years ago to have my ditch filled in and have a nice flat lawn. And now I got this big catch basin in my front yard.
What's the address, Dave?
7573 Southland Drive. And also, we have a property next door. On the other side of Southland, and then should back with the address of 75. Anyways, Severinos used a lot to stage all their equipment. And they guaranteed that they would fix the lot. Now they're saying they're fired off the job. Are they gonna come back? I mean, you know, that's just what I'm hearing. I don't know if that's true or not. But I wanna know when they're gonna come back to take care of that lot. I had to cut that lot. It's terrible. They had all their trucks on it. I have pictures. They totally abused the lot.
They're supposed to restore it when they do the same thing for a while here, they're gonna restore everything, but they've not been. They're still up there. You know when it's supposed to happen within the next week. Okay. They've said they've been in touch with you. I talked to them one time, they wanted to dump the topsoil in that lot again. Right? So are they gonna come back and fix the yards themselves before they scrape, before they put the topsoil down? We're gonna, most of them are rough grading, that's what we can find a lot from last week. So the rough grading, and now you're gonna have 3 to 4 inches of topsoil that will finish it all up. So I'm gonna have a flat yard, I think, and well, you're gonna have a small swale in front yard in order to get the water into that catch piece. When they dug in there, they kind of changed the landscaping a little bit. You know, I got that high spot and stuff like that, I want that all taken care of. We'll come out and look at it, You're just, I'm a little behind on the meetings, I missed a couple of them. Want to make sure that everything's gonna get taken care of. All right, thank you. Thank you.
For example, I shared blue 7583 Southland. I brought samples, just said they're gonna come and they're gonna grade our yards and make them smooth and everything. This is my yard. And it's, I can't mow, I can't do nothing with it. When are they gonna start grading? When they grade, are they gonna get all this crap out of here too? Before they put the topsoil down? Okay, we've been told that they're done. We've been told that they're not gonna do topsoil, but the city's gonna do it. Everybody has a different answer. It's so aggravating.
If I can say, I would not listen to the guys that have the shovels in their hands from setting up, because they're workers. Okay, if you wanna know what's going on, I think Jack was probably the primary person to talk to, she knows exactly.
Okay, when you did your walkthrough, you told Mrs. Murphy, to be here to show the flood. The other guys, she didn't know his name, what year, the guys were not, everybody's got it.
I was never said to her. Mrs. Murphy decided that she was gonna be very disrespectful and very using language. I understand. That's why that conversation never got. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna sit out there and really yell at me. All we need is to use some same language.
And no offense to the law director, but this was something that I attended in both meetings, he didn't know. What was. Asked a question, he said, I don't know, I haven't seen this. I mean, should we see stuff that's going on in the city contracts and whatnot? That's the second time you've done that. No offense, but when good job. Okay, well, a couple weeks I was told, huh? Okay, it's only been what, almost 14 months, so we'll hold you to it.
Anyone else like to speak tonight? Hearing none, we'll close this portion open to the public speak. We will move on to legislation for council. Resolution number 2026-R-21, if you please read it by its title.
Resolution number 2026-R-21, second reading. A resolution confirming the appointment of Michael Breeden to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Any discussion on this tonight?
Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'm curious. Is he the only applicant you got?
No, and I'm curious to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
This to me, according to the police department, seems to be a neighborhood dispute between you and Mr. Reed.
There is.
Okay. Was there some ordinances that were violated?
By me?
Yes, sir.
No, there is, according to our police department, there's a state law that I violated.
Okay,
And Mr. Breeden has violated several of our city ordinances. If you want to cut to the chase and get cute with this, here comes the real thrust. I was gonna sit here and tell you folks, I used to believe our city was a city full of caring people. It doesn't seem like we're that way too much anymore. We're turned into people that are supposed to rat out the neighbors for every violation that they do, and sometimes violations they think they do. So therefore, about 1.5 years ago, I was cornered by the police. I shouldn't say cornered, that's kind of inappropriate. I was asked by the police department, did I ride my zero turn down Pinehurst to my son's yard? Yes, I did. Well, they came back and I know it was Mr. Breeden and or his wife that called the police for this. For why? That affected them not one bit. And I was going down to cut my son's yard and his neighbor's yard. His neighbor happens to have cancer real bad. He can't do his own. So with that being said, I was told that is considered an underspeed vehicle. Okay. I quit driving it down there for a while and then it all died. I ended up getting a trailer so I could trailer it. Thanks, that cost a couple $100. So, yeah, it started with that.
How many warnings were you given?
I was given one verbal warning so far,
And
okay? And it was quiet for quite a while, then it started up again. There's other people in the neighborhood calling the police department on them. I don't only call if it violates our city ordinances and truly affects me. And in most cases, it's because of child safety.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with anything else. He's violated several more ordinances that, quite honestly, this man should know better. Because I've told him multiple times, you're violating these ordinances. They don't want to believe it. So that's up to them.
well, I understand you've had 2 warnings and I was told the next time you'll be cited.
Yes. That's what I was told too.
Okay,
I was only told, I was given a first verbal warning by Sergeant Brodinsky.
sure.
Yeah, the other ones, it died. As a matter of fact, for almost a year, I drove that zero turn up and down because Chief Forsyth nor no one else on the police department could tell me what ordinance I was violating. So now they came up with this. They really have to search to find this. And I really find it hard to believe, ladies and gentlemen, that the intent of that state law is to stop people from helping their neighbors by running a mower up or down the street. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'd like to see what the judge does if that comes up in front of him. I might just push that button. Do I want to? No, sir. I don't. I'd like to get along with Mr. Breeden and his family. Today, there was another push. He trespassed on my daughter's lawn rather. And I told him to get off her lawn, you're trespassing. He wanted to argue with me. Sorry. The cops were called again and he was told, do not trespass on her lawn. So yeah, there's a problem. Has there been quiet at times? Sure there have. I even offered them produce from the little garden that I put in at one point. So I'm happy if he would stop being a pain in the backside. And I would be too. I like to get along, but I'm not gonna let people shove me around.
Okay,
That answer your questions about that?
that does, yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir.
No, thank you.
Okay, is there anything else on this? Any motions?
Motion to suspend.
Motion made by Mr. Morris to suspend the rules. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Gray. Roll call on the suspension, please.
Mr. Morris.
Aye.
Mr. Gray. Mr. Bittner,
No.
Ms. Wong. Aye. Mr. Elam.
No,
Mr. Johnson.
Aye. The motion fails. It's 5 votes to pass. All right, we'll move on to ordinance number 2026-0-04. If you please read it by its title.
Ordinance number 2026-0-04, second reading, referred to committee of the whole. An ordinance amending division C of section 227.01 of the codified ordinances of the city of Benner on the Lake to reduce to $5,000, the amount in excess of which council approval is required for non-routine purchases or contracts.
Okay, we will be discussing this in more detail in the committee of the whole meeting.
Could I ask?
No, I'm still talking.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
But since most of you guys made comments and raised concerns at the last meeting, I thought I'd make a couple comments tonight. I do not believe this legislation was born out of a desire to micromanage the administration. I think it was born out of a desire to be more engaged in how we spend money in the city. When the finance committee first discussed this and requested spending over a number of years, Mr. Bittner asked which of these expenditures people would not have voted to approve. I think that's a rather simplistic view of council's role in approving expenditures. It isn't simply approval or rejection. It is the engagement of council in the decision-making process. We saw this very engagement in purchasing the latest police vehicle. Mr. Gray asked about adding an extended warranty. Since vehicles are getting more complex with more computers. More things that our service department may not be well equipped to repair. Council wasn't looking for a reason to reject the purchase. We were looking for ways to enhance the purchase. To ensure taxpayer money is wisely spent. Council unanimously agreed to add in the extended warranty. I believe there is a general feeling of distrust between council and the administration. Distrust born out of a lack of communication and a lack of engagement with council unless absolutely necessary and required by law. This lack of communication can be seen in so many events over the past several years. From the mayor dismissing a member of the service department and not informing council until confronted by council, despite the charter requiring him. In section 3.05, section A, subsection 11, it states, subject to the provisions of this charter and the provisions of the civil service regulations, the mayor shall have the power to appoint, promote, discipline, transfer, reduce, or remove any officer or employee of the municipality, except those required by the charter to be elected and those whose terms of office may be fixed by this charter. The mayor shall advise council and the Civil Service Commission of reasons for dismissal, demotion, or transfer. Instead, when confronted by council, the mayor asked, "Why would I tell you?" He has regularly kept council as far separated from administration as possible, except when the law requires otherwise. Council is over here, administration is over there, and never the twain shall meet unless forced to. This isn't how government should work. We find out 5 months after the initial filing of a lawsuit against the city that one has happened. Not information we got from the mayor, but from our law director. Our mayor would keep us in the dark, separate and not engaged in the city business. Are there other lawsuits we are unaware of? What else is the mayor keeping from council? Our mayor has made changes in administration, and while we have been told of those changes, he has failed to provide the reasons for those changes. Reasons that again should be presented to council as required by the charter and his oath to uphold the provisions of the charter. We saw the administration purchase playground equipment, which yes, was allowed by the legislation accepting the grant money, but which in an ideal world, with a government working together, would have been discussed with council and feedback solicited. To the administrative director's credit, she at least showed us the design, so thank you for that. So I think this proposal was designed as a mechanism to force engagement where engagement isn't freely given. It won't prevent issues that have occurred, like our having to retroactively approve a purchase that was not presented to council at all, or a backhoe that was purchased without council approval. But when the law is actually followed, it allows council to do its responsibility to ensure tax dollars are spent in the best possible manner. Now, by rejecting purchases, council rarely, if ever, rejects a purchase. But by asking questions, challenging the status quo, and ensuring the best possible use of funds. The mayor claimed in his comments that purchases of $5,000 or more were over 100. While factually that's true, the ordinance does not require council to approve routine spending, such as payroll, utilities, or as Mrs. Thompson raised last time, fuel. The number of purchases quickly decreases. Is $5,000 the correct level for approval? I don't know the answer to that question. Mr. Bittner asked why the issue was sent back to Finance Committee after they sent it back to council. Well, the reason for that was what was sent to us was we want to change something, but we don't know what. That wasn't a recommendation. So I sent it back to the committee until they came up with something. And that's where our starting point for a discussion is. In an ideal world, the administration and council would grow in the same direction. With consistent communication and strong engagement. Unfortunately, the mayor has long widened that divide instead of closing it. As a result, council members are seeking ways to ensure that engagement happens. Ideally, the legislation would not be necessary. But as long as the mayor engages with council only when required, it deserves further discussion. As an additional topic for discussion in the committee of the whole meeting, I would like us to consider changes to the budget and appropriations process. In some cities, appropriations must be submitted within 10 days of the start of the fiscal year, rather than in mid to late February, allowing more time for us to review it and discussion instead of rushing to meet the county's deadline. We have opportunities to improve these processes, ensure council is meaningfully and so involved, and strengthen confidence in how taxpayer money is spent. I encourage each of you to think about that and come ready for that discussion next week. Now, what did you have?
Excuse me?
What did you have?
Well, thank you for your opinion. What I had.
You're welcome for
was-
my opinion.
Pardon me?
You're welcome for my opinion.
What I had was if we could discuss appropriations during a council meeting, why can't we discuss this during a council meeting? Why do we need a separate meeting to go over legislation?
Well, for starters, I postponed it because you weren't here at the last meeting and I wanted to have you available.
I'm here
Which
right
is
now.
why I sent it to the committee of the whole.
I'm here
Because
right now.
Thompson isn't here tonight. So my preference was everyone being at the same meeting.
I don't understand why we can't do it. I still don't understand because one council member is missing.
We have already scheduled the committee of the whole meeting for this discussion.
Mr. President, we have the legal ability to do what we're doing.
Yes.
We can do it this way, Mr. Mayor. Because we can. Okay,
Right, and that's a great explanation.
because we can.
That's right, that's a great explanation. Thank you.
Mrs. Valentine, you had something? You're welcome to come to it. Yeah, it's the committee of the whole meeting. Yes, you're welcome. Absolutely.
Could I add something to that? So,
Of course.
I also had a long conversation with Chief Forsyth, because he asked me when I told him about rat problems in my area, which I have no idea where the rats are coming from. And they just show up my daughter's backyard dead. One the other day was decapitated almost. God only knows how it ended up there. Could be bird dropping. Anyhow, he asked me about, is it true we're looking at doing that? And I said, yes, Chief, we are. He said, could you explain to me why? I said, yeah. I said, there's rumors going around that we want to micromanage the city. I said, Chief, we don't want to micromanage anybody. More than likely, anything you're asking for will probably get approved. But the more information department heads give council on why you have to have that and what the expenses are and what have you looked at, the more chances it'll get approved immediately. I know that there's somebody scaring the department heads into saying, oh my gosh, it'll take 6 weeks for anything to get approved. It doesn't have to take that long. When, as President Johnson pointed out, it was council that approached the administration about, let's look into this, extended warranty for the new cruiser. Well, I've also found out through another councilman, Mentor gets a 7-year extended warranty, I think, was it, Mr. Gray? 15 year. At a lower per vehicle cost than we do, and that, they're buying more vehicles. Could we look into piggybacking on them for that baby sometime? The lower cost. I said, Chief, as council, we're not looking to hinder any department or hog tie any at the city at all. We're looking to do our due diligence as members of council. And I use the backhoe as another idea. The extended warranty is one thing, the backhoe is another thing. It just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. I said, trust me. Again, I'm used to the days when Chief Geeling was here, as well as Brent Moore. When we attended our appropriation meeting, if they wanted to replace a vehicle, we had photographic. Sometimes Mr. Moore was ready to put the vehicle out back and show us why it needed replaced. Now we don't get anything. That's wrong. I go back to the fire truck. If that truck's in that good a shape, why did we replace it? So I assured Chief Forsyth, this isn't what the rumor mill is telling you. It is us trying to do our due diligence. And that's what I will tell the administration too. Thank you.
Mr. President, if I might. This is not our opinion or the mayor's opinion. This is state law. This is statutory. Our role is statutorily determined, as is his. We have the right to do what we're doing. That's all. It's a law, not an opinion.
Thank you. All right. We'll continue this discussion at the committee of the whole meeting. Ordinance number 2026-0-05, if you please read it by its title.
Ordinance number 2026-0-05, an ordinance repealing chapter 878, sections 878.01 through 878.99, inclusive of Title II of the codified ordinances of the city of Mentor on the Lake, the same related to entertainment device arcades, and declaring an emergency.
Discussion on this.
I believe this is the well overdue on our part action for containing the gaming activity in the city beyond the rates and other things that have temporarily shut these avenues down, and this is needed, and it's needed now. Unless there's other discussion, I would be in favor of suspending the rules for this.
Second. Is that a motion then?
I would like to give other people a chance to say something if they want to.
Sounds like a motion.
And,
Oh, you want to speak?
excuse me, I've always had a stance that I hate seeing us make money off people's vices. That's one of them. It's such a vice that there's such a thing as gambling's anonymous. And I just think that's horrible to do that. Although I understand we've made a lot of money off of that. We shouldn't be making it off people's vices. So I agree with you, that's wrong, that I support that legislation.
This isn't why we have this law in the first place. It just, this was due to changes in the Ohio law that makes this no longer valid. I mean, we can't run, we can't have regulation of establishments the way our current law states anymore, because there's no regulation of that in the same way by the state.
So is there a motion to suspend?
I move to suspend the rules.
Motion made by Ms. Wong, seconded by Mr. Gray. Roll call suspension, please.
Mr. Morris,
Aye.
Mr. Gray,
Aye.
Mr. Bittner,
Aye.
Ms. Wong,
Aye.
Mr. Gila,
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Motion for passage.
Motion made by Mr. Morris, seconded by Mr. Gray for passage. Roll call, please.
Mr. Morris.
Aye.
Mr. Gray, Mr. Bittner.
Aye.
Ms. Wong.
Aye.
Mr. Elam.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye. Ordinance number 2026-0-06, if you please read it by its title.
Ordinance number 2026-0-06, an ordinance enacting chapter 286, sections 286.01 through 286.04, inclusive of the Title 8 of the codified ordinances of the city of Mentor on the Lake, the same related to establishment of comprehensive plan implementation council, sorry.
Is there any discussion on this tonight? Hearing none, this will go on to second reading. Ordinance number 2026-0-07, if you could please read it by its title.
Ordinance number 2026-0-07, an ordinance to provide for the issuance and sale of not to exceed $725,000 of notes of the city of Mentor on the Lake to pay a portion of the cost to acquisition and installation of the Lake Street Trunk Storm Sewer, the Pinehurst Street Trunk Storm Sewer, and the Southland Road Storm Sewer, and all related expenses thereto, and declaring an emergency.
Any discussion of this tonight? Hearing none, this will go on to second reading. Old business, is there any old business tonight?
Differently.
Yes.
I have another question for you, Mayor. You indicated that there were other applicants for that position on BCA. Can you confirm that Michelle Moore was one of those applicants?
Yes,
Can you explain why she wasn't chosen? Because she would be experienced with some of our ordinances.
I can't answer that question.
Okay. Thank you.
New business. Is there any new business tonight? Hearing none. We'll now open this public to speak. If you'd like to speak, please come to the lectern, state your name and address for the record. Again, this is your opportunity to speak to council, just not a back and forth with council.
I have a question, but I will for the question.
Sure, why not?
How come if the grading's supposed to start, when did they start today? What are we waiting for? I mean, I understand it's hospital west, but can't they start grading, so when it's done, they just bring them hospital?
Most of the grading is complete.
Not on our end, nobody's been on our
You're
end,
talking 3 to 4 inches of topsoil. All
but they have to grade first, correct?
I think most of the grading.
Nobody's been in my yard, nobody's been in my section of Townsend, nobody.
I either.
He's my neighbor, 2 houses down, nobody's been in our area.
I said, walk through on Tuesday.
You did say, yeah, 2 houses to be great, but I don't know which one. He started on Andrew's bed end, and he did like 3 houses, and we haven't seen anybody since. Today? Today, or
You were there
last
today?
No.
Oh.
You were there last week.
Yeah,
It was actually that week before, but they were almost every day. And then.
yeah, the other end, but from Beach Street down, nobody, not a soul.
He answered the question.
And when you guys walked through, we just saw you talking to people, nobody else was talking to people, and was busy talking to each other.
He answered the question. I'll take a look at it. That's fine.
It doesn't make sense. We should start doing that, and when the silence is ready, they can dump it.
I have another question about the original pipe that we had paid for, to have the ditches filled in many years ago. Is still intact underneath in my yard, and there was a catch, catch basin in the center. And I believe that's still there too. Is that all gonna be removed? I have to look at your specific property. I don't know your expert diverted, but I mean, that's like a perfect place for rats and animals to be living in, that pipe that's no longer in service. Well, it's still in service, right? No catch basin. No. But it's all, that's my old, I had an old storm pipe put in many years ago for the city. I paid to have the ditch filled in and pipe put in, into that corner basin. Now, it's still connected to the corner basin, but it's removed, it's partial parts, and part of my yard. So our animals going in that pipe and living in there. And one here, with all due respect, there is no way we can know anything you're telling us right now. Okay, you'll have to take a look at it, right? So, and another thing, I don't have an answer. Well, when they dug into my septic drain, what kind of guarantee do I have that that thing's gonna? The sanitary from the sanitary connection, and they fixed it? Yes. Because when they fixed it, the county came out to inspect it. Who came out to inspect it? Lake County Department of Utilities, they have. They do? Yes, sir. And that's your guarantee that the county sanitary inspector has that's done correctly. And I'm concerned about that pipe that's underneath there too. We'll take a look at it over. Okay. Good.
Anyone else? Hearing none, we'll close this portion open to the public to speak. We'll now move on to announcements and settings and meetings. There's a zoning committee meeting tomorrow night, Wednesday, May 27th at 7 p.m. An ordinance committee, Thursday, May 28th at 6:30 p.m. Committee of the whole, Thursday, June 4th at 6:30 p.m. Next regular meeting of council will be Tuesday, June 9th at 7 p.m. Are there any other meetings not scheduled here?
Planning and zoning is standing, but that's Monday, June 1st at 6 p.m.
Planning and zoning. June 1st at 6 p.m. Anything else?
Motion for adjournment.
Motion made by Mr. Morris,
Second.
second by Mr. Gray. Roll call, please.
Mr. Morris,
Aye.
Mr. Gray,
Aye.
Mr. Bittner,
Aye.
Ms. Wong, Mr. Elam,
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye. We are adjourned.
I got on Republic earlier, I didn't know someone would say this. I got on the Republic website, I looked at my address.